I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window. Rick Allwright originally hails from a small town in Ontario and moved to Yarmouth shortly after college. Following a short stint in commercial insurance, he moved on to work at the Yarmouth and Acadian Shores Tourism Association, focusing on the attraction and development of events in the region. In this role, he was involved in the Play On Street Hockey Championships, National Old Timers Baseball, and the Canadian Mixed Curling Championships. After his time with YASTA, he became the executive director of the Yarmouth and Area Chamber of Commerce. Rick continues to be an active member of the community in many other ways, including owning his own business and various volunteer roles. Rick, welcome again to the program.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be on the show.
So, Rick, what brought you to Yarmouth? Why Yarmouth? And we're glad you're here, by the way.
Yeah, why Yarmouth? That's a great question. And really, I followed a girl. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, moved, decided to take a job at the Yarmouth Hospital, and I ended up following her here. She's originally from Ontario too, so we both made our way to Yarmouth, and really it was for work for her, and we haven't looked the other way.
Well, that's great. I'm as Gary mentioned, we're certainly glad both you and Candace are here. You've been integral into a variety of different things in the community, and that's great. Now that you've kind of settled in with the chamber, can you give us a bit of background of what the chamber is, what it does, what its roles and responsibilities, and where the funding comes from?
Yeah, so I guess the key thing for a chamber is advocacy. That's the main role of a chamber, is to advocate for its members, and its members are the businesses in the community. So not every business is a member, but we have members from across Yarmouth County and beyond who sign up to be a member and participate in what we do. But the key role is advocacy, and then we do a number of events throughout the year and initiatives. So in the past, we've typically done the Business Awards event, which is one of our biggest things that we do. We provide a lot of different affinity programs to our members. So things like we have an insurance program through the chambers nationally that provides group insurance to our members. It's one of the most popular programs that all chambers have, but especially here. And we do a lot of marketing, and we operate shop local programming and advertising. We do professional development classes. We're all over the place, and since COVID, we've done a lot of we've taken on a lot of projects on behalf of government as well, to basically be there on the ground support and people that can distribute information and execute programs.
So I know it's a national program as far as like Canada-wide as far as chambers goes, but is it international as well, or are there equivalents of Chamber of Commerce in other countries that you can tap into for resources and information?
Yeah, there certainly is. It is an international movement, so there are chambers all across the world. It is one of the more recognizable brands across the world. If you talk about Chamber of Commerce, pretty much anywhere, they're going to know generally what you're talking about and have a good understanding. We're part of things we do is sign or put seals on export documents and whatnot, and other governments across the world don't really they recognize chambers of commerce, and that's a pretty powerful thing. We don't really necessarily tap into the resources about chambers in other countries. If we were doing international trade missions and that sorts of things, we would. But generally, we work with our chambers of commerce across the country to tap into their resources. We like to say it's duplicate or steal and duplicate when we're all fairly willing to share whatever it is we do with each other. We're not competing with each other. It's all about assisting and making sure that we're doing everything we can for the businesses of the country. So,
Do you have any programs or initiatives that are unique to our area?
yeah. So one of the unique ones is the our doctor recruitment project, or the medical professional recruitment partnership. And so we initiated that project here. I believe we're the only chamber to really have that sort of project ongoing. And we've been looked at as a leader in that kind of area. And yeah, there's definitely something that people look to us and like, how are you doing that? What and how are you funding it? All that sort of stuff. And is it worth it? And is it something business chamber of commerce should be doing? So yeah, that's one of the key things for us, and it is unique to our chamber. A lot of the other things, we share nationally, but that's one thing that we do that is definitely unique to Yarmouth.
Rick, I know one of the challenges that you and other members of the Yarmouth Area Chamber of Commerce executive faced, it's a challenge that every organization faces, and that's building up membership, but also having members who take a vested interest in that organization and are engaged. And you all, you seem to have done that. We've all watched that over the last few years. So how did you do it? Take us back a few years. Walk us through that.
Yeah, and I think when I came in as executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, it was my thought is like, I'm not going to focus on necessarily going out and selling membership for the sake of selling membership. My goal was get the members engaged, provide the services and the support that they need, and grow membership through that method and retain them. So we really looked at, okay, what can we actually do? Let's make sure that we're delivering on the promises that we're putting out there, and the brand promise of the Chamber of Commerce nationally. So we looked at what were we doing at the time, and what could we easily add in. I quickly moved into using a membership management system. Everything before that was paper-based, and just being able to engage with the members in a consistent way was difficult. So we quickly moved into that system, and it also helped out administratively as well, just to make things a little smoother. But that was really the key part of it, was let's do things that the members need us to do and expect of us, and to keep them engaged and attract new members.
Rick, we've also noticed over the last few years that the Chamber has taken on some really big issues, complex issues that affect small businesses, like red tape, government red tape, taxes, and all of that. Can you talk about some of that and the role of the Yarmouth Area Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, so that's one of those sorts of things, especially when they come into federal and provincial kind of levels, is we work with our federal Canadian Chamber of Commerce and the Atlantic Chamber of Commerce to those are advocacy issues. So we work with them in terms of reaching the government officials to have those discussions. They're definitely important discussions to have to be a part of, because they do affect all businesses across the country typically. And then when it comes into more local things, like or the province, we deal with those with our provincial government. And having ministers in our region has actually put a little bit more light on us of we have those relationships with the various ministers, so we're able to have those discussions a lot easier because we have personal connections to them in most cases. But yeah, it's these are big issues that we really do rely on those other levels of Chamber of Commerce to work on, and we feed information into them for them to help advocate for our local businesses as well. So our local businesses are having their thoughts and their issues brought to the federal and provincial levels through us.
At the moment, other than COVID, because that's a challenge for everybody, what are some of your major challenges and hurdles that you see facing the Chamber of Commerce right now?
Our challenges are really the challenges of the business community. Labor is a huge one, and it's not. It was an issue before COVID. We did not have enough labor here to sustain the growth that we were seeing in the province, and we were seeing labor issues here long before it's getting to the point that it's at right now. So that's one of the key issues that's impacting our area. Tourism has always been, and the support of the ferry has always been an issue for us, and we want to continue to see that service operate, and it is key to our area and the businesses in our area, and it extends far beyond just the direct tourism businesses as well. And fishing industry, we always keep on top of that and making sure that stays healthy is a key thing because it does support so many other businesses. That's kind of the key things really. Housing is, it's not necessarily a direct thing for us, but housing is definitely an issue that we've been seeing for a long time, and the rising costs there. So, but there's always challenges around the corner, and it's just they're big things, and they're not easy to solve.
I mean, let's focus on the labor piece for a second. I mean, a couple of things come to mind when you talk about labor being a challenge. One is, of course, minimum wage, and the other side of it is, is it skilled labor that we're short on, or is it just basic blue collar labor that we're short on?
It's a little bit of everything, really. It's not. There's definitely a skilled trade shortage. We're seeing contractors and trades that are backing out projects multiple years, and it's just showing that there's a demand for these skills, and people want to get work done, but the people just aren't here to fulfill that in a timely manner. So we see that as an issue for our area. But just general. I think the second part has become a little more obvious since COVID. Is the general labor. It's just everyone's just screaming for basically anyone they can get. They just need bodies basically. But there's definitely that skilled trades component is something that we've looked at for a long time.
Is immigration an answer to that, though, or should we be looking more for a homegrown solution?
I think immigration is probably the easiest way, only in that we need skilled people now, and not necessarily the homegrown solution is training our own people, and there aren't necessarily those people to train. We talk a lot about getting students into the trades and making sure that they know it's an option, but that we're talking about people that are 5 to 15 years away from being in the trades, and that's not going to solve our problem today, whereas immigration can solve that issue or start solving that issue. I don't think it's a total solution, but it'll start solving that issue sooner if we can bring them in and they can be have their skills recognized in this province and in this country, just the same as they are wherever they happen to be right now.
And I guess that comes to mind because I was thinking the same sort of thing for doctors. Bringing a doctor in from another country, they have to go through a whole slew of bureaucratic pieces in order to be able to be certified in Canada. Are you seeing that with the trades as well? I mean, you just mentioned a bit of that, but I mean,
There is, yeah.
is that a huge hurdle?
It is a hurdle. I don't believe it's as necessarily as big as doctors, but it depends where they're from and what their background is. Just like doctors, there's no real cookie cutter. Like if you're from here, and you have this background, you're in. There's a it's a case by case scenario every single time. So there's really isn't no one set thing. But one of the things we've been advocating for is to have at least an Atlantic Canada standard for trades and doctors and all these professionals, if not a national standard, so that we don't have provincial bodies basically making up or having their own rules, and then another province right beside us having rules that are a little less restrictive, and then having a brain drain to that province because of that. And we've seen that happen, especially within the physician field. But it is happening in other skilled trades as well.
Certainly, Rick, with COVID restrictions, the Chamber of Commerce has been unable to have its traditional meetings, face-to-face meetings, more online now. Has that affected sort of the engagement between the members and the executive to any degree? Is there still that passion there that you would get with a face-to-face traditional meeting?
Yeah, and so we never really, like our we have board meetings, and yes, they're open to our members, but it's generally not. Where what we're really missing is like our big events, our big our AGM, our business awards, some of the networking events that we used to do. There's certainly not the same level of engagement as what would happen in person. So we're certainly missing that. I know the business community is missing that, and just it's not even necessarily that they want to talk business or anything. It's just human nature. We want to be together. We want to be social. We're social creatures. So that's really where some of that COVID has definitely hampered that, and it has changed how people engage and how members engage with us and each other. So it's definitely been a challenge, that's for sure. But I definitely see there's definitely an appetite for our members to wanting to get together and have those discussions in person and build those relationships even further.
So Zoom meetings aside, is technology something that the chamber's taking advantage of? Social media and other aspects.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've pretty tech savvy, so we definitely use social media. All our members are subscribed to our email list that we try to communicate out somewhat regularly, and we definitely use Zoom a lot. Just like everyone else, really. It's what we've had to move to, and we've definitely utilized the technology that's been created and really helped connect the world together. So it's definitely helped connect our members together. We've hosted some just Zoom, just whoever wants to show up and have a chat, just show up. And we've had plenty of sessions where it's we're specifically eliciting the feedback of our members to be able to provide to government throughout this as well. So it's been been critical to have this technology for sure.
Elections come and go, governments change around, and everything else. Does that have a major impact on the chamber and its operations when, you get the flip from a liberal government to a conservative government and/or back to a liberal government? Does that negatively impact your ability to support your membership?
Not really. I actually think it's a great time to be able to re-engage with those political leaders. They're kind of fresh into it. They want the feedback. They're listening. They're I don't think it does. There's a little bit of relationship building that has to be done, especially with key political staff. But so we can gain access to ministers and whatnot. But it's an exciting time really, because you see there is a changeover. You're seeing new ideas come to light, and you're seeing I feel that we see the political parties and leaders become more involved and want our opinions even more so. So it doesn't really slow us down. Messaging typically doesn't really change. We're still looking for the same general things, but it's how a party might deal with that, or how a new government might deal with that, is really the only thing that really changes on that side.
As we mentioned in the introduction, Rick, prior to you becoming executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, you were with YASTA. Can you talk about how the Chamber of Commerce, works with other organizations like YASTA and others to overall
Yeah.
promote this region?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously have a great relationship with YASTA. We just on the tourism side of things, in the U.S., many chambers are the tourism body. They do look after that. So we actually get a lot of calls and a lot of people coming to us from the U.S. looking for tourism information. So having that background, having those connections with YASTA definitely help be able to redirect those questions in the right place and be able to provide the information when we can. We've even on our website we have a place or a tab that's visit us, and it's specifically tourism information that all redirects back out to YASTA. We talk to we have many partners. We're talking to all of them on a regular basis. We have the Western Regional Enterprise Network, who's looking for economic development opportunities, and so we work with them on a regular basis. It's just to keep abreast of each other, what we're doing. We work with NSCC a lot. Mary, the principal, is on our board. Work with all our municipal partners as well. YASTA all the time. It's there's so many partners that we definitely stay engaged with. It's a key part of what we do to make sure that we're aware of what they're doing and they're aware of what we're doing. So we're also not duplicating services in any way, but we're also supporting what each other are doing when it's appropriate.
How important is it, Rick, for smaller communities, rural communities, to have a Chamber of Commerce?
I think it's really important. There's basically chambers of commerce all across the country, and they cover basically every little town that there is. The model in which they run is always varying, and so we're a chamber that has staff, and there's many chambers that are purely volunteer run. I advocate that every chamber needs to have someone dedicated to kind of the day-to-day, keeping on top of things and communicating with the membership to be able to provide that value. But when it can't, we have chambers in our immediate vicinity that don't have staff, and we certainly do our best to try and provide a little bit of support to them. All through COVID, we were making sure that they had all of our updates and any information that we were sending out, we were sending to them, and we were telling them, send it to your members, use their information. We're here to support you as well. We're all in it together. So, but definitely, if you're in a small community and you're a business owner, get involved in your chamber. It is an important thing. Definitely, it's a key thing to do, just to be involved in the business community.
If you were to kind of pull something out of left field that the chamber is responsible for and or the chamber does that the general public might not know about what the chamber does, what would it be?
Right now, we're partnered up with the province to provide rapid testing. We've been distributing rapid tests on behalf of the province through their workplace testing program. That's an ever-changing situation, but it's something that most people may not really know that we're doing, but it's something that is certainly important for the business community to be involved or to join and to be a part of. But it's something that the chambers nationally got involved in, but it's not necessarily something that I believe most people would even expect a chamber to do. But we certainly did. And I guess, the other one that people don't necessarily is the doctor recruitment program.
Let's just focus on that for a second. So with the doctor recruitment program, since you've been the model by which it's been built on, it's a homegrown solution. Have you had interest in that from other areas of the country?
There's been a little bit of interest from other parts of the country. That's definitely Atlantic Canada for sure. New Brunswick, there's a few places in New Brunswick that have been interested. I have talked to a couple of chambers in Western Canada about it. And really, it's pure curiosity of what we're doing and how we're making it work. It's definitely something that is of interest to smaller communities, especially that have similar problems retaining doctors. It's something that we're even through the doctor recruitment plan program, we're looking for opportunities to speak about it at conferences and whatnot. If people want to learn more, we're definitely willing to discuss what we do, how it's funded, the overall model, and how it works. So it's definitely, we don't see this as a cookie cutter thing. Every jurisdiction operates differently, so it's definitely, here's we can say here's a base model, but you need to figure out how to adapt this to make it work for your situation, and really it's about having those discussions with all the stakeholders that are involved, and really engaging the physicians in your community, because physicians recruit physicians, and that is the key message for anyone looking at doing this.
Have you found that you've had to, because of uncertain times, I guess for a better expression, that you've had to remold and reshape the Community Navigator program to sort of adjust and suit to all these changes and variances?
Yeah, there definitely has been. It's we started this whole thing right before COVID, and we were writing into our budget, well, we're going to go to X number of conferences. We had a fairly healthy budget for going to conferences. And, we weren't even 4 months into it, and that was out the window because conferences were no longer happening. So, there was a pivot there, like, okay, we got, like, they're going to shift to virtual, or what are they going to do, and how can we be engaged with them still, and how can we support it became part of the program at the early part of COVID just became, let's just support who's here, like how let's make sure that they're okay, let's make sure that they have the resources that they need, and then now it's, there's changes in government that changes how they're going to be doing recruiting a bit. So now there's a constant, this project is constantly changing. But having adaptable people as part of your board, as part of your staff, has been really important.
I guess keeping along that same theme about uncertain times and looking at 2022, goodness, Lord knows what this year is going to bring. We keep our fingers crossed, but who knows? Yeah. And how does an organization like the Chamber, do its strategic planning? Usually organizations sit down at the end of one year and plan ahead for the following year, but that's got to be tough to do.
Yeah, it really is. And it's keeping an eye on, okay, what are the core things that we need to make sure that we're doing? And then, we've always just kind of looked at it as, over the past couple of years, of what are the core things that we need to do to support our business members, and let's just keep the eye on that, and adjust and make corrections as we go to make sure we're suiting what they need. So it really comes down to the same thing this coming year is, we got to make sure that we're doing the advocacy piece that they need in order to make sure that they're able to get the support they need, but also see the direction of government and make sure that we're creating a sustainable economy for all of us. We're somewhat driven by doing events. It's a lot of our revenue, but we really don't know what will come of them, or if we'll be able to do them. We're constantly looking at that, and we've been on the edge of doing an event, and we're like, oh, maybe we should hold off. These numbers are rising, and then we're back to square one, and it's not fun, but we're all in the same boat, and all businesses get at this point. Like it's this constant state of change, which we just need to be ready for, and but it is hard to plan. There's no real. I haven't figured out how to plan properly for this yet, because it's certainly you can't. You get into what we're dealing with in the past few weeks here, and it's totally upends the world. So, and who knows what will come throughout 2022. We hope for the best, and we have our eyes on getting back into our business awards, for example, and we're trucking forward that's going to happen. But I think at this point is the right pivot at any minute to be able to make sure we're adapting to what our members need.
Rick, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. Thanks so much for chatting with Quinn and I.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great to be on the podcast, and I hope to be on it again.
And just in closing, if anybody wants any more information on the Chamber, how best to get a hold of you?
Best place for more information right now would be to go see our website, Yarmouth chamberofcommerce.com, and our contact information is on there. And more than happy to have a chat with really anyone to get an understanding and support you in your business journey, or to work out any issues that you might have.
We've been chatting with Rick Allwright. He is the Executive Director of the Yarmouth Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.